Welcome to the Explainer. There are some creatures out there that just make you stop and think. Today, we're diving into one of them, the honeybee. For centuries, its complexity has baffled scientists and philosophers, and we're going to look at it through a really fascinating lens, one that asks if its incredible abilities are really just instinct.
So let's jump right into the big question. When you look at a beehive, this incredibly complex, bustling society, are you just seeing basic animal instinct? Or is there something deeper going on? Well, the source material we're looking at points us to a specific verse in the Quran. And what's really interesting here is the word used for inspired. It's wahi. Now, the source points out that in this context, the honeybee is the only creature, other than humans, mentioned as getting this kind of direct divine communication. That's a pretty big deal.
Okay, so what does this divine code, this wahi, actually mean for a bee? It's a really good question, and the source is careful to make a very specific distinction here.
Right, so let's be super clear. We're not talking about prophecy, like you'd think of with humans. No, for the bee, wahi is described as something more like a divinely programmed system, a super precise, goal-oriented instinct that's way, way beyond just reacting to its environment. So where can you actually see this programming in action? Well, a great place to start is with the bee's absolutely incredible architecture. Think about the honeycomb. For literally centuries, some of the smartest people in history have been totally mesmerized by it. Why that specific shape? I mean, why the perfect hexagon over and over again without fail? It took us a while, but modern math finally caught up and confirmed what the bees seem to have known all along. The hexagon is the single most efficient shape for the job, no question. You get the most possible storage space for honey, you use the least amount of wax to build it, and the whole thing is incredibly strong. It's a perfect design. And this is a really important point the source makes. The amazing thing isn't that the bee's breaking the laws of physics, like some kind of magic trick. No, the real miracle is the exact opposite. It's that the bee's instinct works in perfect harmony with the laws of physics and geometry. It's a flawless execution of the best possible design.
Okay, so we've talked about what the bee builds. Now let's talk about what it produces. And this brings us to this idea of honey being basically a pharmacy in a jar. And again, the source points us back to the Quran. It describes what comes from the bee in a very specific way, as a drink of different colors that has healing in it. So what does modern science have to say about that? Well, it lines up perfectly. We know honey is a powerful natural antibacterial, and it's famous for never spoiling. I mean, they found pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that are thousands of years old and still perfectly good to eat. Plus, it's used in medicine for everything from healing wounds to boosting the immune system and even helping our brains. And here's another thing the source points out. The precision of the language is key. It doesn't say honey is a cure for everything. It says there is healing in it. It's not some wild claim. It's presented as a straightforward, factual statement about what this amazing stuff can do. All right, so we've got the architecture, we've got the product, but how does this whole complex society actually run? How is it organized? There's a big misconception about how beehives work. And it's funny because it's baked right into the name we use. We call her the queen bee. That makes it sound like she's the ruler, right? But is she really? The truth is actually way more interesting than a simple monarchy. The queen doesn't give orders. She doesn't command armies of worker bees. Her one super important job is to lay eggs. That's it. All the big decisions, like, hey, where's the best patch of flowers? Or is it time to find a new home? Those are made by the hive as a whole. It's a collective. So how on earth do they manage that without a leader? Well, they use one of the most mind-blowing forms of communication in the entire animal kingdom, the waggle dance. It's not just a cute little wiggle, it's a sophisticated language. A bee can tell her hive mates the exact direction and distance to a food source just by dancing. The whole hive runs on this incredible communication and consensus. No boss, no force, and somehow, no chaos. Okay, last but not least, let's look at the bee itself. Specifically, something that used to be a huge puzzle for scientists, how it flies. You've probably heard that old line, right? According to the laws of aerodynamics, the bee can't fly. And for a long time, that was kind of true. Based on what we knew about flight, which was mostly from planes with fixed wings, the math just didn't work. Its wings were too small for its body. It made no sense. But obviously, bees do fly.
So the problem wasn't with the bee, it was with our math. Our understanding was just too basic. Once we got high-speed cameras, we figured it out. Bees use these really complex, super fast wing beats to create tiny, powerful whirlpools of air, vortexes, that give them lift. It was a whole different kind of physics we hadn't accounted for. And this is such a perfect example of the main idea in our source material. The issue was never a flaw in nature that needed some kind of supernatural fix. The flaw was in us, in our limited human understanding. And that really brings us to the heart of it all, the true wonder of the bee. Its perfect hexagons, its medicinal honey, its leaderless society, its impossible flight. It's not about breaking the rules of nature. The source argues it's about a perfect, divinely guided harmony with those rules. So, let's put it all together. The source we've been looking at presents the honeybee as this truly unique example in nature. You've got this mix of deep instinct and perfect order. It creates a product that's both food and medicine, and it all traces back to what's described as a one-of-a-kind divine inspiration. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. The bee's secrets weren't really secrets at all. They were just out there, waiting for us to get smart enough to see them. So it makes you wonder, right? What other amazing examples of this kind of elegant, hidden harmony are all around us, just waiting to be discovered?